we're going to look at the median, the altitude, and the perpendicular bisector of a triangle. The median is actually the easiest to figure out. The median is the midpoint of one side, so we'll call this side A here. And we'll say this is the midpoint of side A. We'll call it M1 because there's going to be at least 3 midpoints. And it goes from the midpoint, okay, so we'll do the median in red, to the opposite vertex. We'll know it's the opposite vertex because if you tried to draw a line to either of the other vertexes, you wouldn't have anything going through it, right? So from this to the opposite vertex, this creates our median. Okay, so we have our median. Okay, so we have a median. Another thing we'll do is the altitude. So we'll do the altitude in green. Now the altitude is a line that connects to the opposite vertex. So we'll do it on side B here. This will be the opposite vertex. We'll call this point B. This was point A. So we have point B there. And an altitude is actually a line that is perpendicular to the opposite side and connects to the vertex. It's usually seen as the height of a triangle. So let's do this one in green. And it would come straight down, and it's perpendicular to this side here. Okay, so this would be our altitude. Okay. And finally, the last one is a perpendicular bisector. Okay, a bisector is something that crosses at a midpoint. So we'll say this is the midpoint of C. This is vertex C. This is side C. So we'll call this midpoint 2. And to be perpendicular needs to create a 90-degree angle. So I'm going to try to create this as best as I can here. A perpendicular one, I think, would go like that. So it doesn't connect to either of the other vertexes. And it would be a 90-degree angle with the line it's coming off of. So all 3 of these are different, but they all really fall within one of 3 things. Okay, so you either go from a, we'll say a midpoint, a vertex, and we'll say midpoint, vertex, and what's the last one here? Perpendicular. Okay, we'll do that in P. So the median. The median deals with a midpoint, and it deals with a vertex. Okay, it has both of those. And altitude, T-I-T-U-D-E, deals with a vertex and being perpendicular, but has nothing to do with the midpoint. And then the, what's the last one? Perpendicular bisector, we'll call it PB. Perpendicular bisector goes from the midpoint to the, and is perpendicular. Okay, so those are the 3 things that it covers. Oh, well there it is.